In Gahuni, Gahuni is the sanghramma which was in charge of the stupa, where the Buddha looked at Vaishali one last time very lovingly. The stupa name where the Buddha looked at Vaishali very lovingly is Gahariya Chak, and the sanghramma in charge of Gahariya Chak is Gahuni. Gahuni and Gahariya Chak have the same meaning. Folks, how I came to this conclusion, how I concluded that Gahariya Chak is the place where the Buddha turned and looked one last time very lovingly at Vaishali. Folks, this is Gahariya Chak. The Buddha, he stared for the last time at Vaishali. The Buddha stared for the last time at Vaishali, folks, very lovingly. That is Gahariya Chak, which I showed you. Gahariya Chak, which I showed you. Now, what do you call it? See, Gahariya Chak is it is just next to the moat, just outside the boundary wall of Vaishali, of Pidholi. Where Gahariya Chak was a stupa which was supposed to be prayed to, not lived on. Folks, there has to be a sanghramma nearby with the same meaning. With the same meaning, a different word with the same meaning. That is Gahuni, where the monks in charge of this stupa and where the pilgrims could stay. That is Gahuni. Gahuni and Gahraiya means to stare at something very deeply. So folks, check out the satellite picture of Gahuni and the video of Gahuni, which was the sanghramma in charge of in charge of the Gahraiya stupa. Now see, in most of these sanghrammas, I see they are of the backward castes. See, they were in charge of feeding the monks, etc. So you see mostly backward castes. Anyway, this is Gahuni. Check out the video. Now that I have shown you Chak Rukiya, to the north of the sanghramma, 3 or 4 li, is a stupa. This indicates the place where Tathagat stopped when about to advance to Kusinagar to die, whilst men and kinnars followed him. From then, not far to the northwest, now see, not far to the northwest is a stupa. Here Buddha for the very last time gazed upon the city of Vaishali. This is a very important stupa, because this is a very important story in From this, not far to the northwest is a stupa. Here Buddha for the very last time gazed upon the city of Vaishali. Now let's see, northwest of Chak Rukiya. Here Chak Rukiya is here. Now let's go northwest of Chak Rukiya, this way, Gahariya Chak. Folks, this is Gahariya Chak, and you can see the moat is just next to it. Folks, this is the stupa which marks the spot where the Buddha stood and looked for the last time at Vaishali. Folks, here at Vaishali, that's all these places. And here is Godana, Pidholi, etc. So that is where he looked for the last time. Now this is the stupa is meant to be prayed to. There should be a sanghramma. It's not lived on, so there should be a sanghramma nearby in which people used to, the monks would live and the pilgrims would stay. That is Gahuni. Because Gahuni and Gahraiya have the same meaning. To look very deeply, to concentrate on something, to look at something and concentrate, Gahuni and Gahraiya. So Gahuni is the sanghramma in charge of Gahraiya, and you can see the moat See, Buddha, when he left, the wall came out of the gate of Vaishali, then he stared at the thing. So here is the, what you call it, moat, and the wall would have been here. So folks, this is your Gahuni, this is the sanghramma. So just check out the pictures of Gahuni, which is the sanghramma in charge of Garahiya Chak, where the Buddha stared for the last time at Vaishali. Okay, now folks, I am in Gahuni. See, the village behind me is Gahuni. Gahuni means to stare at something very deeply, to stare at something very lovingly or very seriously. So folks, now like the Buddha, when he was leaving Vaishali, he turned, when he left the walls, he turned and looked one last time lovingly at Vaishali. Now, this is very important because I see even small incidents, they have stupas for these incidents. And this is a very big incident of the Buddha's Mahaparinirvana. He is going for his Mahaparinirvana. He is leaving Vaishali. He turns and looks back at Vaishali once last time. Folks, that is Gahariya Chak, which I have showed you. Gahraiya means very, what you call it, to look at something very lovingly, very seriously, very deeply. And the plus point about Gahariya Chak is it's just next to the moat. The stupa is just next to the moat of Vaishali. So that Gahariya Chak stupa tallies with the story of the Buddha leaving Vaishali and then turning and looking at Vaishali one last time. So folks, that is the stupa. And stupas are meant to pray to, but you need a sanghramma where the monks can stay, who pray to the stupa daily, to look after the stupa, to maintain the stupa. You needed a sanghramma for the monks. Plus, you needed a sanghramma for the pilgrims who came to pray and to pay homage to the stupa. So folks, that is Gahuni. Gahuni and Gahraiya mean the same thing. The difference is Gahuni is behind Gahraiya. So Gahraiya is the stupa where Buddha turned and looked one last time at Vaishali, that is Pithauli. And Gahuni is the sanghramma, in which where you saw me standing in front of my car. And most of these sanghrammas, folks, they are manned by people of the backward castes. Backward castes, see, you needed, to look after the fooding, lodging of, pilgrims and monks. They were mostly handled by people who were from the backward caste. They would do the taking the food, etc., etc. So this is your Gahuni, the sanghramma, which was in charge of Garahiya Chak, where the Buddha turned one last time to look at Vaishali. If you found this video educative, follow, like and subscribe to my page or channel, Buddha is You, folks, and tell your friends and relatives about this.